My name's Nicole and I'm from Leeds, and I'm a BME Hub member, and I am also, as part of my professional role, I'm an equality diversity officer, and I also do training as well, design training and deliver training to different organisations. My relationship with clinical trials is more of from my educational background. So I have an undergrad in biomedical science, so I'm aware of how clinical trials are done, so drugs can be approved, but in terms of me as an individual personally and in terms of in the community, I didn't really know much about clinical trials, wasn't really engaged with the service, and I don't really think that I've actually been offered or recommended to participate in any trials on an individual basis. So community really for me is about safe space, a place where you can go for recommendations, a place where you can go to be signposted to certain services. I don't know anybody who was actually partaking in a clinical trial itself, but the general narrative, from what I understand, it's more of a negative one. It's more of a one of hesitancy due to the main reason what we're talking about today is a trust issue. Is it right for me? Is it safe? If something goes wrong, will I get the care and support that I need? And all those different things. The word guinea pig almost comes to mind around when clinical trials, not even just the Black community, but just people who are hesitant or are not very much educated about the process of clinical trials. I think negative perceptions of clinical trials have come from many different avenues. So generally, for all people, the media. So when I think of clinical trials, I can't remember the year it was. I think it was early 2000s. I think about that case where there was a placebo and things kind of went wrong. I think, and it was quite big in the news from what I remember. So it's things that when things go wrong, everyone knows about it, just in general. But when things are going well, you don't hear about those things. So that's one thing where people can have negative perceptions. And another thing around health, specifically with the Black community, historical legacies of mistrust and people not being supported, and people share their negative experiences in healthcare. The negative experience, if it affects me, I do listen because I trust my community. So from that perspective, I do hear what they have to say, but I would like to think that I do think critically as well. So I like to take both sides and see things and try my best to see things for what they are. I know I won't be able to know everything, but come to my own decision. But ultimately, I would say it has affected me to the point where it's not caused me to engage in clinical trials. And I do feel like if I was to tell someone, a close family member, that I was taking part, they wouldn't be too happy about it. And like, oh, why are you doing that? Is it for the money? If you need the money, I'll support you, just don't do it, that sort of thing. But the reason why I'm here today is just so that we, as a community, because I understand that if we don't engage in these clinical trials, the drug efficacy might not support our community as best as it could, and then that causes us to be further left out in terms of the disparities and the gaps that we receive when it comes to healthcare as well. So yes, there are many challenges and barriers, but I understand that it is important that we do engage, but it's important from the other side that we are respected and also listened to, and our anxiety or our hesitations are understood and not just swept to the side and just ignored. What would disrupt the trust? I think it would be negative opinions, or people maybe coming out with their negative experiences, or additionally, if people are willing to come forward and engage with clinical trials, how they're treated when they are engaged in that process. Are people listened to? We understand things have to be done by a process, but is that human aspect as well, that emotional intelligence? People may be doing this for the first time, and people are very sensitive to people's body language, words and actions. So yeah, that could also disrupt trust as well. What would I say to the bosses at Leeds Institute Trials of Research is just be committed to the journey, and we have to move past, not to say that you do have any fear, but move past that fear and use that as a tool to progress. And just remember your why, because this might be trending now, race equality, getting people involved, but your why has to be bigger than your fear, and always look back at your why and why you're doing this. And with that, hopefully change, will come for the better. I said, commit to the journey and try and not let fear rule you, and just use your why to progress you and keep you on this journey.